We're going to be completing problem number 1 together. Problem number 1. Let's focus in on gift first. Given, implied, freebies, and talk through. Let's read the given and mark it on the diagram. Given, AB is parallel to CD with a transversal of EA. So AB is parallel. Parallel does not mean congruent here. It means parallel. And then transversal, our stir stick, is EA. So when you have parallel lines, the first thing you want to do is always stretch them out. So it's easy to see the different congruent angles. There's your stir stick, A to E. So those are parallel. Let's see what else is given. It is given that AB and CD are congruent, so AB is also congruent to CD. That's going to give us a pair of congruent sides. And C is the midpoint of AE, so we're going to darken that. And C is the midpoint of A all the way to E. That means these are congruent. That gives us another pair of sides. So we're done with the given. Now we're going to mark freebies and mark what's implied by the given. Freebies, we're looking for linear angles, linear pairs, vertical angles, and reflexive sides. There's no reflexive sides or angles here. There's not really any vertical angles, but when you deal with parallel lines, there's a couple key things you want to look for. The most common you want to look for is alternate interior angles, better known as armpits of the Z. Those are congruent. Another very common one would be corresponding angles. And again, those are congruent. And if you look carefully and look at these triangles, angle A here is congruent to angle C. Those are corresponding angles. So A and C are corresponding. So we're going to mark that with a A. So we can see that the triangles are actually congruent by side, angle, side. So we already know how the triangles are congruent. They're congruent by side, angle, side. So we're going to make a web proof that deals with those three pieces of information: side, angle, side. Because I'm going to have 3 side angle sides, I know I'm going to have 3 different streams of information. So I'm going to do 3 different webs. Start with the easiest, side, and that's just the AB is congruent to CD. Why do we know that? It is given. And that's already a pair of sides. So we're going to call that pair of sides. And then what gave us the angles with a parallel line? So we're going to go ahead and get that. AB is parallel to CD. Why do we know it? It's given. And then our other pair of sides was because of the midpoint. So C is the midpoint of AE. We know that because it's given. We have one side already. The parallel lines gave us angle A congruent to angle C. Why? Reason because is if parallel corresponding angles congruent. And that gives us our pair of angles. And then C is the midpoint. And because of that midpoint, we know that A to C is congruent to C to E. A to C, C to E. We know that because of if midpoint, then congruent. And that gives us our other pair of sides. All three of these three pieces of information feed into our last conclusion, which is the fact that the triangles are congruent. Triangle ABC. Let me trace that out so it's easy to see. ABC is congruent to triangle CDE, and the reason for this is because of side angle side.